Hey everybody, VR Gaming Fan here. Over the past few days I have been repeatedly and incessantly accused of being biased for the HTC Vive. Even to the point of accusing me of lying to somehow promote it. I don't work for HTC, I don't work for Valve, I don't work in the gaming industry at all. I'm actually semi-retired, and my only bias is for VR. I want VR to succeed very badly. I want VR to succeed. I want it to be mainstream. I want it to be popular. I want it to be successful. And my bias is to consumers. I really hate sleazy business practices. They really piss me off. So my bias as regards to comparing the various VR platforms available is, one, I don't want to support slimy companies and slimy business practices. I don't want to support another iteration of the corrupt gaming industry that exists right now with companies like EA and Konami and I've forgotten the name of the other one that is known for really slimy behavior, and basically like just the behavior of the AAA gaming industry in general. I want to discourage that. I want to squash that in any way I possibly can. And by advocating that people vote with their wallets and spend their money with the companies that are, if not totally not screwing them over, at least screwing them over the least, to send a message to the gaming industry that we're sick of this treatment that we're getting from them. And also, because VR is an early adoption and everybody is closely watching the reactions of early adopters, if there's constant complaining about, I got screwed and this was a raw deal and you know, I'm locked in because of exclusive titles, or I'm puking my guts up every time I use the damn thing, stuff like that, people aren't going to buy VR. And if people don't buy VR, companies aren't going to make VR, and VR will go away. So the fact that primarily the Oculus Rift and the PlayStation VR are intended for a sit-down experience, at least initially, and most of the titles being released for them are focused on that. And it is objectively the case that sit-down VR experiences are nauseating. Some are more nauseating than others, but they're nauseating. Because you perceive movement with your eyes, and even with your hearing, but the rest of your body is saying, we're not moving, and that causes motion sickness. They stand-up experience, whether it's room scale or it's just you standing and it's your body movements while standing in one fixed position, are what are initiating the motion in the game. There's no nausea, there's no motion sickness. And if people aren't getting sick and people are actually enjoying the experience, people are going to talk about it and they'll share it, and other people are going to try it and they're going to like it and they're going to buy it, and VR will be successful and I'll be a happy boy. That's my bias. So why am I so pro Vive and against the other two? Because Vive meets all those criteria. In every category, it's at least as good as the other two and generally superior. So objectively, factually, evidence-based reasoning on which product to buy, which product to recommend to other people to buy, it's the HTC Vive, hands down. It's as simple as that. If the Rift was the better product, I'd be recommending people get the Rift. I had a Rift, and I was a big fan of Oculus when they first started out, and I'm eternally grateful to Oculus and Palmer Luckey for kickstarting, literally, kickstarting this whole surge, or actually resurgence, of VR. Without him, without them, this may not have happened. This may not be a reality. And so for that, I am eternally grateful. But that doesn't make me overlook the poor either through malice or through incompetence, business decisions that Oculus has made in the last couple of years. They've pissed a lot of people off. And their product, although lighter and more comfortable than the Vive, is not as good as a substandard product. A substandard product for which you pay just as much money. They try and hide that fact by separating the sale of the second camera and the two motion sensors, two motion controllers. The fact of the matter is you're paying exactly as much, if not more, for the Oculus Rift, and you're going to have to wait several months to get the full package. They lock you in with exclusive titles. Primarily, they're a sit-down experience that's nauseating as hell. They even have a rating system to tell you how nauseous you're going to get. None of these things are issues with the Vive, and this is why I am such an advocate of the Vive, and why I recommend to everyone, if you're going to be an early adopter, the Vive is the way you should go. Because I honestly think it is the best thing for the industry, it is the best thing for the consumer, and it is the best thing for you, the person I'm talking to right now and making this recommendation to, who's considering on spending a very large sum of money to try out an emergent technology, an unproven technology. If you're going to be an early adopter, and I am one, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm spending the money. And I'm in Canada where the dollar is not worth shit, so my Vive is costing me like $1,400. And I may have to upgrade my video card. It's kind of on the edge. It's a 960 as opposed to the minimum recommended of the 970. According to Steam's evaluation software, I should be able to play most titles okay. We'll see. But I may have to shell out another $500, $1,000 for an upgraded video card. And if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. But if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want to make sure that I get the best experience possible, the best value of my dollar possible. And so I watched review after review after review. I watched reviews of people who just owned one headset, and so the only thing they were doing was just reporting on their experience. There was no comparison. And I also watched reviews from people who had multiple headsets that they were able to try and compare. And the story I got back across the board is that the Vive is the superior product. This is in addition to the fact that Steam's business practices as far as game development, game distribution, is much more ethical, makes more sense than the Facebook/Oculus method or the Sony method. Both of them big fans of exclusive titles, and Facebook, of course, a huge fan of collecting personal information on you and selling it to the highest bidder. Actually, selling it to every bidder would be a more accurate description. So basically, I cannot, in good conscience, find any good reason to recommend any product other than the Vive. Now, for you Oculus fanboys out there who can't handle that, I'm sorry your butt hurt. But the fact of the matter is, the Vive is the best way to go. It's the best for everyone involved. You want to shoot yourself in the foot and get yourself an Oculus Rift? Spend just as much money to get a lesser experience and end up puking your guts up? Go right ahead. But don't start posting videos and reviews talking about how crappy VR is and how nauseating it is because you picked the wrong hardware. Now, let's all get down to VR, have some fun, and show everybody what a great time this is going to be. Talk to you later.